Hey you, yeah you. Are you looking for an escape? Maybe just for an hour to laugh, cry, roll your eyes, or even just have a minute to yourself.
Or ever just want to embrace your feminine side, and what better way to do that than have the color pink riding shotgun, as pink isn't just a color, it's a state of mind. Thanks Audrey Hepburn for that quote.
Then look no further. Introducing the new podcast, Truth and Pink.
We're Sarah and Shauna, 1979 Gen X, strong. But more Zennials, that forgotten little slice of Gen X with just enough millennial edge to know what TikTok is.
But way too cool to care.
Hey, Truth Babes. We are back with another episode of Truth and Pink. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Shauna.
And we are back to cause havoc, laugh hysterically, and just be girls.
Because we are girls.
I like being a girl.
I do too.
Okay. So today, your black heart, bless your little black heart. So because we love being girls and we were all about the pink and a little bit of black, we are talking about self-care today. Yeah. And not just how it's thrown around and we need to have our time, because we do, but like other things that help us take care of us, what makes us feel good, and what is right for us, because what's right for me is not right for you.
And vice versa. We do things to make ourselves feel good, and my narrative doesn't have to match yours.
Absolutely not. No. But I will say she has twisted and I am coming around. And I am under no delusions of what I look like, but I am coming around to saying I never wanted to do Botox to now I'm like, I think I do.
I think I do.
I think I do. So.
Okay. Right. Tying into last week, I think I'm a little bit tired of the highlight reel because it doesn't always make you feel good. So I like to do things for me. I do things for me, not for anyone else. So it's funny when my husband once said, no man in the history of ever has been like, oh, I wish her eyelashes were a little bit longer. And I was like, sir,
that's because they're boys.
Do you think that I'm doing that for you? I don't do that for you.
Right. This isn't for the man gaze.
For me.
Absolutely. Right. We're too old to care about the man gaze. I don't care. We're not worried about that. Right. This is stuff that we're doing that just makes us feel better in our own skin. Botox or crepey or whatever it is. Okay, I don't think I'm crepey yet, but
you're not.
You look at your arm.
What is that? I think the first time I found back fat, I was like, oh.
Yeah. What is that jiggle? Why when I wave does it do that? No, I get it. But yeah,
new fear unlocked.
Right. That level has been unlocked now. Mm-hmm. You had mentioned something before we hit record that I thought is worth mentioning, and I think we are so, and I think especially as women, this is so true. Even if we say we don't care, we care a little bit. We're so afraid of being judged. We just are. I think it's literally in our DNA. Most of us. I can't speak for all of us, but most of us are afraid of, who does she think she is? Or conceited much? Or whatever it is that they're, whatever makes them feel better to say that about you. And that's not what we're not doing it for you.
Yeah, I'm not doing it for you. So we talked about goals. Set goals in your life. Those are good things. I always had this idea in my head that one day, and maybe it was a Sex and the City thing, with Carrie, and she had all her Manolo Blahniks, and I never in my life wanted to have like 100 pairs of shoes. Well, no, that's a lie.
I guess you do.
I want it, right? But like that wasn't a need. But in my head, I was like, red bottoms. I need a pair of red bottoms in my lifetime. If I can walk into a Christian Louboutin store and buy myself a pair of red bottoms and it won't hurt me like financially, or like you had mentioned, I don't have to eat top ramen for the next 5 months because of it.
Just to afford the shoes.
Right. I will have made it. Like that was always a thing. And so for my birthday this last year, my husband looks at me and goes, babe, let's go to the store.
It's time to go to the red
Get you
bottom
a pair of red
store.
bottoms. And I was
I
like,
love that.
are you sure? Yes. And I have the perfect pair. I've already picked them out. and you know, and I think like the first time I wore them out, we went to fancy dinner. Oh, we went to 4-6 Ranch. And we went out to dinner, and as I'm like walking, strutting down, feeling like all good about myself, I like had a second where I like self-doubt and thought, oh, what if they're looking at me like, oh, she's conceited or whatnot? And then I went, no, I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it for me.
Yep.
And then I bring them back home and I package them up really nicely and
keep it in the box.
Myself.
Yes.
They come with their own little bag. And I definitely was a little sad when I came back and I saw like my first little scratch on the bottoms.
Ooh.
And so then I went out and I bought the red bottom. They have like a
cleaner or whatever.
No, it's not cleaner. It's like a cover. It's it's almost like a rubber, which makes them less slippy too. But it's red and it covers your red bottom. So if you ever go to sell them, which I would never, but then you could peel it off and the bottom is all nice. And so anyways, tangent.
That's okay.
But we do it for us. I don't do
Right.
it because I want to be conceited. I don't do it because I'm vain. I just do it because it makes me feel good.
Yep. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think, you know, we were talking a little bit too about, you know, I used to have a chip on my shoulder. I had to have something to prove. And, you know, I'm tough. I'm this, I'm that. I'm scrappy. I don't need this.
Yeah.
I don't want, which we are. But I don't have that need to, I need to prove something to you to make myself feel better. I'm letting go of that. I wonder what they're thinking about me, because it's easy to say, oh, I don't care what they think about me, when you do just a little bit. Everybody does. They can say that they don't, but truly a little bit you do. But when you're okay in your own skin of what you're doing and what you're saying, then the judgment doesn't hurt so much. So
true.
Even if somebody is saying, oh, she's conceited, you know you're not. That's not what this is about. And you are comfortable. Let's just say someone had the balls to call you out. You don't have to be defensive. You know why you're doing it. I mean, you might want to stab her with your heel, but that's a different set.
I got a really sharp 4-inch stiletto to do so with.
Right. And I think we're always talking about our age. We're open about our age. We're not out to pasture yet. We're certainly still in the throes of motherhood. But it's not that I don't care. I don't care enough to have it stop me. And I think that's the, you know, home run, if you will. Like you said, you had a moment, just a moment.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, what if they think this about me? But then you were like, no. This is right.
This is my moment. But it almost made me sad for half a second that I even had that self-doubt or that moment where I thought, because why do I care? Why do I care? It's just
don't
so
open
hard.
that box.
I know.
Don't open that box.
Package that one up. Throw it.
No, but it's true. And I feel like as women, like we talked about, we're our own worst critics. But then because we know that about ourselves, we know that somewhere along the line, somebody is judging us for whatever they think the issue is. So we're very cognizant of that. Instead of being like, oh, hell yeah, look at her. She got her red bottoms, which we should be doing. We have our own insecurities or whatever it is. And we're like, you know, who does she think she is? Again, you have a nice, sharp something to stab them with. But we're not at the age where we have to defend or prove. So it's like you said, you let it go, move on. You stopped yourself and you were like, hang on, this is okay. And I think that has to go along with the self-care that we're always talking about.
Right. Well, and self-care, I think we talked about it on your podcast, just about how it doesn't have to look like what everybody else thinks it should look like. What's normal per se. And
normal's overrated.
Normal is overrated. I don't know that I want to be normal because we
Mm.
shouldn't, because we're not a cookie cutter version of the next person. We have our own thoughts and feelings and expressions. So, go
Yeah.
get that eyelashes, go get the Botox, go.
I'm
Do the
thinking I'm almost
things.
there. You keep twisting and I'm gonna get there.
Well, I think, I did the same thing when
Yeah.
it was presented to me. When I was still bartending, I had a regular that she owned a med spa, and she was like, "Come in, I will treat you." And I was
Mhm.
like, "I don't want to cross that bridge yet. I can't. What if my face is frozen? What if I can't make a facial expression? What if or what if you drop my eye?" And then I walk in and I like can't even. I was so scared.
Yeah.
And it took a medical professional talking to me about muscles and how all of that works.
Technique.
Yeah, that made me feel better about it. And then also, okay, if we drop your eye, come back in, I can correct it by hitting up a different muscle and it'll lift it right back up. And I went, so I'm not going to have to look like
What we've seen the horror stories look like.
Or when people
And
get
those
hundreds of units of Botox in their face and they literally can't move their face. Like, again, if that fits their narrative and that makes them feel good, that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, I look at that and I go, okay, I don't want that for me. So it
Mhm.
did take a little bit, and I love that you're talking about it or thinking about it. And sometimes it just takes like those extra answers or reaching out to a good medical. If you have a good nurse practitioner who's sticking needles in your face, which I think that you need to have a good
You
nurse
need to have that.
practitioner
Yes. Yes.
if they're sticking needles in your face.
Yes.
And RNs can do it too, but I
Right.
happen to have a nurse practitioner. I absolutely adore her. And she answers all my questions and
And my questions.
your questions. I can
She did a whole thing. Yes.
And then
Yes.
also like address all of the things. She also isn't gonna, what we say, fuck up your face. Like,
Right.
she's the girl who tells people, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Right. She's a little more on the conservative side
Mhm.
instead of just seeing the dollar signs, which unfortunately there are a lot of people out there who are doing that. And you look at these horror stories. What is it? Brandy, is it Glanville? I don't know. I see, doom scrolling as we talked about last episode, and we're not supposed to, but she's out there talking about she had some sort of like parasite, or they're not real sure. She had a lot of and this goes deeper than Botox, like plastic surgery, changing your face, stuff like that. But it's still hard not to hear those horror stories and be like, oh, I think I'll just take my wrinkles and deal with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, we want to, feel good in our own skin. We want to feel pretty. And if this helps us do that, I agree with you. It is not conceited. It is what is because there's only so much, like you said, I think we did talk about it on my podcast. There is the deep breathing and the meditation and all of that, yes, is self-care. But there's others, but there's other stuff too, like the eyelashes. How good do we feel when we go get those brand new pair of jeans that maybe is a size smaller than what we were, and we can just rock it.
Yeah.
And it's a confidence glow up, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what kind of sets us apart, is just feeling confident in our own skin.
Well, and when you do, it's like you're tipping your hat to the hard work that you've done. Like, I worked out for this amount of time and I ate all the right things and I did all of the stuff. And my reward is I look in the mirror and I go, okay, I see you. And then if you can put on those jeans that you never thought you'd fit into again, then you're like, oh, throw away the fat jeans. I don't want those ones anymore.
Yep.
But it's a tip to how well you've done for yourself.
Yeah, it's an ode to your hard work.
Yeah.
For sure. Because those things aren't easy, right? Those things, having the discipline, having the goal-oriented mindset to show up every day and do the hard thing every day when you just don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to reward ourselves, as we should be rewarding ourselves and celebrating those wins.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do it.
Yeah, right. I think you should. So we were talking about the breathing. I don't have card notes written like Shanna does, but I do have little text messages that I've texted myself on keeping us on point. But
Keeping us on point. Well, I got both of the things.
Yeah. Well, at least I didn't say join us.
Welcome. Come join
You're
us.
welcome. Yeah. So again, when we talk about breathing, meditation, we talked a little bit about on my podcast grounding, and you were like, I've been grounding since I was a kid and I didn't even know it because I ran around the ranch barefooted and that was my grounding. Again, all part of it. Trying to bring us back center, trying to calm our circulatory system, trying to calm the, nervous system that has been dysregulated for I don't know how many years. Yes, all of those things are important. But I want to be the girl. I want to be the feminine whatever.
Because we've been raised that we have to be tough. And I think we talked about how we kind of, in some ways, raised ourselves.
Latchkey kid.
Yeah, mom locked us out of the house. Maybe that was her. Maybe that was her. Maybe that was what she needed for her. Maybe that was her space. Huh. Wow. Yeah. I'm thinking. But so we went out until the sun went down, and
even then, maybe we didn't come home.
Right? I'd hear my mom had a bell. Oh,
I didn't know.
I would hear the bell. And I'd go, oh shit, I gotta go home.
Gotta go home. I
gotta
get
go
a bell.
home.
Yeah, I didn't have that kind of supervision. I was a true latchkey kid, Parents
we were raised
forced.
to be tough. We were raised to rub some dirt in it. And that's because of where we grew up as well. We grew up in a great little area. And so we were raised to be tough. Mm-hmm. But now I like that. I like that I have that tough, like, inner self, but it's nice to be girly.
And soft. I'm okay welcoming the softness now because, again, I don't have anything to prove anymore. I used to think this world needs to know how tough I am and I'm not going to take any shit.
I remember that.
I'm still not going to take
I remember
shit.
That you.
I'm still not going to take the shit, but I don't have to be so aggressive about it.
Right.
Like, I know where I stand. I'm better at knowing who I am. I think for the longest time, I didn't know who I was. And I think that's true for a lot of young women. You just didn't know. There was no guidance. There was no, you just sort of picked a path and hopefully you survived at that level, whatever that was.
Right. But that goes back to, that's our first time going through life. It's our first time experiencing this and just trying to weather that storm. And that's all we're doing is just trying to figure it out and hope we don't mess it up too bad.
And sometimes I did mess it up too bad.
Well, not too bad, I recovered. Look at, you made it to level 46.
I lived to level 46. I think too, there's a lot of influencers out there and good intentions. But sometimes if you're not really sure of who you are or what you should be doing and you're sort of looking for those answers, they're going to influence you to follow a certain path that's very regimented, or you have to do this to have that self-care. And I feel like that's just another demand on our psyche or another demand on ourselves of what our self-care routines should look like, when really it should be anything that you need as long as you're taking the time for yourself and making it a priority. It's not being selfish. It's not being conceited. It's not, all of these terms that get thrown around. It's okay. It is okay. Even if you are in the throes of motherhood and buried up to your knees in diapers, it's still okay to hand baby off for just a little bit and go take care of what you need to take. Yeah.
I definitely did that with my mom. Like I was fortunate to have my mom close by. And Chase had colic. So like every night cry for hours. And I would cry with him some nights because you're just so exhausted. And I called my mom and she goes, no problem. I got him. Take him. And she would literally like put him across her lap and just like pat his back for like 2 or 3 hours. And I would just veg. I don't even know, because that was before doom scrolling was a thing. So I don't even know what I did, but I needed that. And I think some people forget that you have a network of people. Like, you're not expected to do it alone.
Yeah.
I hope that everybody has somebody.
I didn't have that.
I was just thinking that. I was like, oh, I hope that
I didn't have that.
uh,
Which I think why though, because I didn't have that, I think that's why as this point in my age now, why it is so important for me. And I'm not saying that as in a victim way or oh poor me. I didn't have that. And I think there's a lot of people who don't have that. But I think that's why as you get older and you're able to get, we talked about our kids being a little older, so there's now a little more freedom for us. I'm enjoying that. It's not because I don't want to hang out with my kids or be there for my kids. No, but because now I can sort of embrace, hey, you know what? I am going to go get my nails done. Hey, I am going to go do this for me. Call me.
no, you can't come.
Right. And no, you can't come.
Nope.
Not this time. Not this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't think, and I'm not going to be made to feel bad about that. I'm just not.
And you shouldn't.
Yeah. But that's hard. Well, and because we talk about that mom guilt and those mom demons, and I struggled with that so much, which is why I had just copious amounts of stress because I felt like I couldn't. That mom guilt was so ferocious inside of me that having to quell that and actually get to a point where it was like, no, I am not a bad mom if I'm going to go do this. Now, and I say this jokingly, but I'm being serious. It took having a heart attack for me to realize how important that self-care for me was.
Right?
And I don't recommend that to anyone.
No, I don't recommend that either. A heart attack brought on about by stress.
By stress. I did not have high blood pressure. I did not have high cholesterol. It was
stress.
Copious amounts of stress.
Right. And no coping mechanisms built in, no self-care. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that you picked up and moved to a new area where you're all by yourself, right?
Again,
and although I didn't have a heart attack, when Jeffrey and I moved out here with the kids, we had nobody. And it was a very, very difficult time that first year learning. Again, you're right, I had nobody at that time. Luckily, my kids were a little bit, not older, but they weren't babies.
Right.
But just weathering that storm and the amount of stress that you're under. And I had good coping mechanisms. I don't know what they were.
But I
had a pool. I had a body of water.
I think, we both talk about those times as, we used to refer to them as life-changing events. Now they call them canon events, whatever you want to say. But I know that in the top 5 of life-changing canon events, in the top 5 is moving. It is moving. And as my bestie, you know how many times I've moved in my life.
I've helped with a couple of those mates.
You've helped with a couple of them. I was thinking about this the other day. It's around like 28, 29 times.
Really? Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I'm just going to drop that right there. And
it's almost like you were a military brat, but you weren't.
But I wasn't. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of, like I like to say, a lot of dysregulated nervous system things happening and not knowing how to cope and not knowing how to do that. So when I say I'm so excited to get a mini glow up and get my hair done, yeah, that's super important to me because that's a luxury. And it's not even a luxury, but I didn't have that opportunity before. Now, hell yeah. Now I'm going to do that and I'm going to like it. And if anybody calls me conceited or otherwise, I might have to take your red bottom shoe and deal with it.
They got to come through me first, okay? No, because you're right. Self-care comes in the form of so many things. Like, yes, I get my hair done. I get my nails done. I get my eyelashes done. I do the Botox in my forehead. Like, I still do other things that are more conventional. Well, I suppose, like we talked about last episode, I'm a big music person. I love listening to music. And sometimes that just makes me feel good. I open up my window and I just drive down the freeway or whatever with the wind in my hair, the sun in my face. Like all of those things make you feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. But you have to be able to make that conscious decision to do that, where I think sometimes we're so in it. We're so underneath it all, like literally it's piled on top of us, that we don't think for a second, hey, let's roll down our window. Hey, let's sit out in the sun for 30 minutes and just feel what that is, because we're just buried. I don't know a better way to say it.
buried. I do love my I do love my backyard though. Last night it's starting to cool down. And it was like overcast and it had like a slight breeze and there was like lightning storm off in the distance, but no rain. And it just was nice. And I just went outside, sat in my backyard that we have put so much time and energy into making beautiful, and just reading a book and enjoying. And then Chase came home and we had dinner together out there. But it was just nice to have that couple hours of just downtime. And that was me time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so
because, and especially you are busy, and I can appreciate you are busy. So when you can slow down and you can do that stuff and then be able to appreciate it, because these times are, not often. And so you do appreciate it when it comes. That is self-care. You don't have to be able to go and afford the red bottoms for your self-care. You can find these little mini opportunities to acknowledge and embrace and say, hey, okay, this right now, this is perfect. This is heaven. I'm going to embrace this.
But that comes with changing the mindset, because I think that you need to realize that some of those things are self-care and that it doesn't have to fit anybody else's narrative. And so it's just sort of kind of changing your mindset or setting your intention as well. Hey, today I'm going to read my book for 5 minutes. If I can do that, and maybe 5 minutes turns into 10 minutes, or even like drinking my coffee, go outside, drink my coffee, or just have a few minutes to just like sit in myself.
Right. And there's nobody, you shouldn't be listening to, oh, you're not doing it right, or you have to do these 3 things or whatever. I will tell you. So you talk about you're a podcaster who doesn't listen to podcasts. Okay. I am in the middle of, in fact, I'm almost finished of writing my first book. Okay. But I hate the physical act of writing. So when I was researching these things to do self-care for myself or whatever, the thing that kept popping up was I needed to journal.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate that. I can't journal. I can't. It's the physical act of writing. I have a lot of thoughts. That's why I have a mic. But to actually have to write it down on a piece of paper, I ain't got time for that shit. Who's doing that? Kudos to you if you are. I am not journaling.
I don't journal.
I
don't journal, but I do write things down, because if I don't write them down, I'll forget them.
And I have had people on as a guest on my other podcast that have just said it's life-changing. That just getting it all on paper and purging it and everything. And not only do I not have the attention span to do that, I would lose my thought.
They might have been the people that were doing diaries when they were younger too. I never felt the need to do like a dear diary. Today But that is self-care. So many people, that's your time.
That's their outlet.
Get everything off your chest. So I don't know, maybe that's, if you don't have somebody, maybe that becomes the thing that you do, because you are your own somebody.
Yeah, and maybe it is. And I'm certainly not knocking it. It just wasn't for me.
For sure.
Of the list of the things for self-care, and when journaling kept coming up, that was not going to be me.
I will not be doing that.
Writing my book, it's a challenge, but I feel like I have this that I want to get out. But if I had to do it in the form of a journal, I don't think
no.
Could.
But you have so much to say, especially on that subject, because I know what the book is about. Like, you have so much to say, and it's another platform, and it's going to help so many people. And
I hope so. That. That's very sweet of you to say. I
love that.
Or they're going to read it and be like, this woman is an absolute train wreck. It's very possible, but that's okay.
We like negative comments too. Negative publicity is also good publicity.
We did. So, podcaster who doesn't podcast, writer who doesn't write. We are killing it. We're crushing it.
We are changing the narrative.
Yes. So let me ask you, at your age, right now, as we were talking about social media last episode and everything, is there times where you see yourself more influenced by things that you're seeing on social media, or are you able to be like, I don't need that, or this is ridiculous, or do you see certain trends or things where you're like, yes?
I don't think I look so much for trends.
Or just something that captures you where you're like, ooh, this person influenced me and now I want that yoga outfit, or I want that, insert material thing here. Is there something?
The only thing that I would say I'm consistent with on when I'm looking through Instagram and stuff is snowboarding. I'm constantly looking to level up my snowboarding to get better. And so I follow quite a few people, and they give you like their tips and tricks. Because back to like my husband teaching me to snowboard is not always the right thing because I don't like to listen to him.
They try.
He'll say, babe, you're doing this. I need you to do this. And I'm like, if you think that's what I was doing on purpose, it was a happy accident.
Oh, the Jeff's always Jeffing it up. Come on now.
So I like to get like tips and tricks from other people who are teachers. And so I would say the only thing that I'm consistent with searching for when I am doom scrolling is kind of looking for that, or looking at exercises that are better for me at my age that can help keep up my bone density and help keep me healthy and athletic forever and ever. Amen. Because I don't want to be the fragile little old granny that can't keep up with her kids and her
or grandkids. Yeah.
So
for sure.
I think, I mean, there's definitely athletes or trainers that I follow, but I don't know. I've always been really good at being happy with what I have and not constantly looking at others and saying, "Oh, I wish I had." Oh,
right.
I wish I was. Right. I mean, I do sure look at somebody and go, "Oh, damn, I'd love to have her abs," but I'm not willing, to make the sacrifices,
to do that
she made to get there.
Yeah.
Every once in a while I go, "Oh, I'm going to have a 6-pack." That's very, very, very difficult to get at our age, having had children. And those are some big sacrifices. And I'm just not willing to put in that kind of work, if I'm being honest.
Right. And I think that's good that you know that about yourself. But I would say you are very humble in the sense that you have put in the work. You have put in, I mean, the changes are phenomenal. And I think that is worth celebrating, and that is worth, you did commit to yourself for that self-care, and that's huge.
And it was rough. If I video journaled, or if I would have journaled the journey to get there, like, I am not a pretty girl working out. I get beet red. There's nothing pretty about it. I get beet red. I sweat. Like, it's not pretty. And then you're so sore because you're pushing yourself, and you're so sore and like you can't even move. And I would struggle to sleep because I'd fall asleep for a short period of time and then wake up and just be sore and uncomfortable. And then you're stretching in bed for hours before you feel better. And then you're like, you know what, I'm just going to go take an Epsom salt bath. And
right.
If you were actually journal that journey, it's pretty.
And I don't want to use the word embarrassing, but I do remember when I started lifting heavy. I don't lift like that anymore. But when I really started lifting heavy about 6 months after my heart attack, I remember being so frustrated that I wasn't farther along than I should have been, or that I thought I should have been, comparing myself to others and how easy it was happening for everyone else. And I had a day, I think I probably scared everybody in the gym, where I cried at the gym because I was so incredibly frustrated that I had been doing the work and I wasn't seeing, comparing myself to like, oh my gosh, I eat air and I gained 10 pounds. This person's over here, drinking a Coke at the gym and they're ripped. And what am I doing wrong? And so I just remember, I think I made a lot of the men uncomfortable.
They're like, oh my God, the girl's crying at the gym.
It was an unlock that I just couldn't stop. And I'm just, doing my lips and I was just, it was terrible.
But that goes back to giving yourself some grace and realizing that we're not all the same, and what works for me isn't gonna work for you. And I think that recently, you did a lot to change like your A1C, and you changed your diet, and you did all of these things. And we talked about recently how, your body isn't changing the way you want it to, but you're looking at all these other women that have subscribed to the same kind of diet, and they're losing 60 pounds. And you're going, what the f- is wrong that it's not happening to me? But they don't have the same metabolism you do. They don't have the same comorbidities you do. And so it's going, okay, well, I tried this and I fixed my A1C, but now let's look at this and see. Okay, we're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and see what's
your favorite expression.
It is.
We're gonna shiv it, and
we're gonna shiv it. We're gonna try something different and see if it works.
Yeah. And I think the most frustrating part is it's not for lack of discipline. It's not for lack of trying. It's not for, I have no self-control, because those things are not true. But yeah, after 6-8 months, I'd like to see some result. Okay, so maybe not significant, but something. Right. Something has to move that needle, and it is not. And that's why I'm coming to you and crying and telling you to fix me.
But I think what you also need to see and realize is that you're so strong, and because of all of the work that you've done, not only are you strong in your mind, because you can do the things when you set your intention, you can stick to a program, but hiding beneath all of those layers of self-doubt and the layer of fat that we all have, because I'm sorry, we all have layers of fat. You've got so much muscle and you're so strong. We just have to peel away the self-doubt and peel away the layers of fat, and you've got all of the things
strong as an ox.
Strong as an ox.
I will say that in the beginning, especially, lifting was a self-care for me. I don't know if I just had to say I could do it. After my heart attack, I couldn't lift 3 pounds. They gave me a little hand weight and they were like, you need to start doing that. And I couldn't lift it. And it was so embarrassing and it was so terrible. And I wasn't that out of shape before the heart attack. It was just what my body went through with the trauma during. 3 pounds felt like it might as well have been a ton, And so then when I was able to deadlift and get in there and, 75 pounds. Okay, now I'm at 85 pounds. Okay, now I'm at holy shit. So I have the strength, I guess.
Yeah. But you're proving something to yourself, not to anybody else.
Yeah.
To yourself.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, I want to know how many other
than your boyfriend.
That's right. I can.
I got so much shit for that from my family. Only because we're an athletic. Well, because we're an athletic family.
Oh, okay.
And
so maybe not. Okay.
Yeah. So all my boys,
the Doritos.
We all snowboard. Yeah, the Dorito. We call it the Dorito back because they're so cute. Yeah. But they all work out. We all snowboard, and so we're athletic. We're in shape. So I looked at them. I was like, you're right. I can't deadlift more than you. Okay. But it was supposed to be funny also.
Well, in general is what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I think that not only that we talk about the self-care, I think that also goes back to body acceptance, right? Because whatever we can do to feel good in our own skin and accept us for whatever level we're at. I think you mentioned on the podcast that we did, you start where you're at.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like. You're not going to be the super fit CrossFit model out there who looks fabulous in all of the, yoga pants and whatever she's doing. That may not be where you start, but start anyway. That's okay. Meet yourself where you're at.
Just start.
Just do it. Yeah. Just start.
And if you have a bad day, it's okay. If you set your intention and you don't hit your intention that day, that's okay. Tomorrow's a new day. Start all over. Or I think people self-sabotage because they go, oh my gosh, I ate too many cookies today, or I did this or whatever. Okay, it's all right. Did you eat healthy most of the time? My girlfriend, who's a nutrition coach, she is all about 80-20.
80-20. If you're doing things 80% of the time correct, then because we still have to live life, right? Mm-hmm. We still have to go to our awkward dinners and eat whatever. We still have to, I'm not going to miss out on, if a bite of ice cream or a bite of pie brings me that joy, hurts so good going down, I'm not going to deny myself that.
Sure.
right? Because I'm sorry, I like food.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Foodies. Ugh.
foodies. I like, and
So much good food around here.
food is a social thing for me, right? And I'm not gonna be like, oh no, I can't eat that. I can't eat it until 5:15. Like,
Right? I offended somebody.
oh no.
I know. So we had somebody come into the hospital. We had a group come into the hospital and like kind of reward us. And they brought food in, and they brought in like Wingstop or something. But they did all of the like tenders. They didn't do like the wings. And so that's just so much breading.
Breading.
And
I knew you were gonna say it's the breading.
It's the breading.
And we won't
I
even
eat
get into the seed oils.
Right. I eat carbs, but I pick and choose where I eat my carbs in the day. And when I walked into the break room, she was like, "Oh, we brought you guys food." And I was like, if I eat that, I'm going to be fat. And the look on her face, and I think I offended her because I didn't see what was below the table, but she was a little out of weight, and that's fine. I wasn't intending to imply that
Insult her, right?
Yeah, that she eats it, so that's why. But she was offended by it because one of the other nurses came up to me a little while later and said, "Oh, Shauna, she was upset with you." And I went back. As I walk in and I'm eating my egg whites, like, you can clearly see that I just don't subscribe to that in this moment. Maybe I'll eat that with my family later, but that doesn't fit into my carb count for the day. And so I found later when she was packing up, I had to graciously thank her. "Thank you so much for the food. I wish that fit into my program right now. It just doesn't fit into my meal plan," because I felt like I needed to explain to her.
Which you didn't.
You didn't. No, but I just felt bad that I unintentionally offended her.
Right.
I felt bad.
Well, again, because you didn't do it on purpose.
It didn't.
It wasn't, you weren't shaming her. It just came out of your mouth that I'm not doing this right now.
Yeah, that's
yeah. Because
if I eat that all the time, that's what I meant. If I were to eat that, indulge all the time, I would not be able to stay as fit as I'm trying to stay.
Yeah. Well, and I've heard this before. It's in order to enjoy the good, we have to have something hard. So if we're never doing hard things, enjoying the good doesn't feel as good as maybe it should because we haven't done the hard things. And part of the hard is, 80% eating correctly, doing the, weightlifting or whatever you're choosing to do. But then as women, you factor in, our different cycles and when you have to take it easy, and like men don't have to worry about any of that, right? They don't have a luteal cycle, whatever. They don't have to worry about any of that, right? What is that thing? Men are like the sun. They rise and they set the same way every day. That's how they're made. Women are like the moon. We have different cycles and phases and things that are happening, which means we shouldn't be deadlifting on a part where we actually should be taking a little more tenderness with our body. But if you listen to those influencers, they're going to tell you have to show up every day. I am showing up every day.
I'm trying.
Bitch.
Right? I'm just doing my best over here. Which is all I can ask of you. It's all we can ask of ourselves.
And your best is not we're different. Like we can't compare. And so take care of yourself, whatever that looks like. Get your red bottoms if that's what you're looking for. Your Botox, your lashes, whatever brings you that pep. Embrace it.
Yeah.
Right?
Embracing all of the fun things.
Fun.
Yeah. And taking everything else with a grain of salt.
Yep.
It's not a defining moment.
What is it?
It's just a moment.
Waters off a duck's ass. Something like that.
I like to tell people, look at, even if you're in obviously I work in I work at trauma ICU, so it's a very traumatic unit. And I see so many people frustrated, kind of like you said, when you got done with your heart attack, you couldn't even lift a 3-pound weight. And because traumatic experiences change your entire body. And so people go, "Oh my gosh, how come I can't? I can get up and go to the bathroom on my own." I'm like, you can't. You actually can't. And they go to stand up and they wobble and they say, "Oh my gosh, 3 days ago I could do this. And I said, yeah, well, 3 days ago you weren't in this crazy traumatic incident that changed your entire body. Your body's energy is going towards healing right now. So you can't do the thing that you used to be able to do. So give yourself some grace. And
I
understand
love that
this
you
is
say
also-
that.
I do
I
it all
love
the
that you
time.
say that.
And that
Because
understand
people
this is
don't
peace.
realize the trauma, not only mentally, but you have this expectation of what your body did. It's going to take some time to get back there.
It does. It does. And so I try to impress that upon people and then also go, hey, look it. This is a shitty chapter. It's a shitty chapter, but it's only a chapter in your book. So don't let this one chapter define you.
Yep.
You're going to turn the page and you're going to look back and go, hey, that was shitty, but I made it through and I lived to talk about it and I'm stronger for it. So give yourself some grace. Get through
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't have to be your headline. Doesn't have to be your
No.
headline.
It's not the narrative. It's just part of the story.
I love that. See?
No.
Helping people all over.
Teaching.
That's what we're doing at Truth in Pink.
Right?
That's what you're doing.
You're doing it too. Words.
And that's why I have a mic.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? The female brain has to expel like 65,000 words a day or something like that, and men only have to get rid of like 5,000 or whatever. Or don't quote me on that. Fact check me. I'm not.
But
something like that. Yes. Yes.
We're very wordy.
We're wordy.
I can't tell you how many times Jeffrey stops me and goes, "It's too many words." Get to the point. And I'm like, nope, but now you stopped me and now my thought process has stopped and now I need to start all over. So it's your fault.
That's the way
I'm
it goes.
keeping wordier because
you
shouldn't have
stopped me.
me.
Right. Just let me go. Just let me go. And that is that, Truth Babes. We will be back. What do you say? Don't say it. Join us next time.
I was like, what do I say? I don't know. It's different all the time. Still working out the kinks.
We are.
Trying not to have you roll your eyes at me when I say, join us next week for all the fun.
It's always fun.
It's fun and it's funny or maybe.
It's funny. We're making fun of ourselves.
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, me too.
All right, babes.
So follow, like us, subscribe. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about and or make fun of. And we'll catch you later.
Peace out.